of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Markus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Flying guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
And we're back.
Yes, sir.
After the draft, another milestone checked off. Another day closer to June 1st. So we can figure out what's going to happen. And then we can continue to move on and get ready for this 2026 season. But the draft has just been complete. And we are here to talk about it. I am Coach Markus. That's my partner, Tone, the Shields 2. What's going on, Tone?
Yes, sir, man. The one and only. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Make sure I smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to both channels. Subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Subscribe to Chalk It Up Sports. As my good brother said, this is the Bald Eagles podcast, the one and only, your one-stop shop for all of your Philadelphia Eagles content. We coming at you guys weekly, every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yes,
and
sir.
throughout the regular season, you getting this twice a week, every game day pregame, and every Tuesday to recap everything that happened on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it.
It'll be here. It's
before you know it, man.
It's gonna be here quick. And like you said, we have so many angles to really tap into this thing because it's been an eventful weekend, and we had some time to let it sink in, right? It's crazy. Thursday, the draft seems like it was just yesterday.
Yes.
But well, first, before we even get into that, didn't it seem like the weekend itself just flew by?
It did. It was a lot going on, bro. A lot going on. The WNBA had gotten started. The draft was going on. Everything was going on with the Phillies, which culminated today. With Rob Thompson getting fired, and then on top of that, the Flyers in the playoff,
and they killing it too.
Yeah, so it was just a lot of stuff going on, man, and it went by very, very quickly. Howie made his splash move, seems to do it every year, and this was no different. Although this was no fault of his own, this was all Pittsburgh not doing what they were supposed to do, basically. Jumping the gun a little bit, and I don't know how the hell Howie sweet talked the damn Cowboys to moving up, but I think, in my opinion, I think the Cowboys were trying to stick it to McCarthy one last time. But hey, it works for us. We got our guy. I did not realize that Mekhi Lemon, on some people's boards, was ranked ahead of Carnell Tate. A few people had him higher than Carnell Tate. So whether you did or you didn't is irrelevant. The fact that regardless of how you ranked, nationally, he was ranked in the top 15 in the whole draft.
Right.
So I look at it like this. If you ranked, regardless of where you were drafted, if you were ranked in the top 32, that means you were first round pick. You got a first round grade. And he was, everything I saw, he was either 11 or 12. I don't even think I found a ranking that had him in the teens. He was either 11 or 12. And then some people's personal boards maybe had him a little higher. But he was one of the top 15 in the whole draft. And we got him at the position that we needed. So now there is no misunderstanding that A.J. Brown is getting up out of here. So it is what it is, how he got the guy that he wanted to get, and some. So once again, I keep trying to tell y'all, Howie Roseman, that batting average is awfully high, and just let him keep doing his thing. You know, everybody. We'll talk about what happened in later rounds when he got Eli Stowers, which I thought it was a good get. However, you had EMW right there that we could have snagged, but they had what was most important on their board. And that's how they want to do it. They did the homework, they did the research, and they made the decisions. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, I want to double back to those first. I want to double back to day one, right? Because the Eagles were sitting at 23. And you and I were discussing prior to the draft, will the Eagles trade up? Will they trade back? What circumstances could lend to either outcome? And I think you and I were both saying they're obviously going to take best available, but if they could get one of these top offensive linemen, they're going to try to do that. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So when we saw because we watched it together, when we saw all those offensive linemen on day one just flying off the board, and I mean offensive tackles, the top tier ones, I'm thinking about how things went, and you saw guys like Spencer Fano go off the board first. You saw Francis Marigoa go off the board first, and Caden Proctor go off at pick 12 to Miami. You saw Oliver Vega-Ione, the guard, go to Baltimore. And then you saw Blake Miller go to Detroit. Monroe Freeling go to Carolina. There was a run on those top-tier offensive linemen, in particular tackle, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles wanted one of those tackles if they get their hands on them.
I agree.
But Howie Roseman, like he did in prior drafts, he let the board come to him. He let the board fall the way it was going to, because Howie Roseman clearly has a threshold. He's only going to move up but so far.
Right.
And I think the draft class can dictate that. If you feel like there's not a generational talent worth moving up for, you're probably not going to overextend yourself or give up too much capital. But even so, Howie Roseman's mindset is all about value at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Value. What am I giving up? What am I getting in return? And to move up from pick 23 and trade with Dallas, you gave up. I'm going to make sure I got this right here.
2/3?
They gave up. Well, no, they gave up the 2/3 to get Grenard.
That's right. That's right.
I'll make sure I
they
got
gave
this
up
right
fourth
here.
round picks, right? I think it was 2 fourth-round picks.
So here it is. In order to move up to get Mekhi Lemon, they made the trade with Dallas. They traded picks 23, so they did a pick swap.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sent over pick 114 and pick 137 in exchange for pick 20 and the 2027 7th-round pick. So the Eagles gave up 3 picks in the current draft to move up to pick 20, and they got back an additional 7th for next year's draft.
Yep.
To get Mekhi and Lemon in particular.
Well, I think Howie made the best of a bad situation. And that's just the way that the board fell.
Correct.
I would like to think, I have no idea if this is what they were going on. I'd like to think that if the Jets would not have taken Sadiq, he would have fallen to the same spot. And if we would have moved up, we would have moved up to get Kenyon Sadiq. Right? Then if we wait till our next pick, if we make the same exact deal, we can still get what's the name? What's the other wide receiver? Concepcion.
Okay.
So we still would have had the opportunity, but I think I didn't think anybody thought that Lemon was going to be available the way he was ranked. So
that part.
I go back to that Joe Banner conversation. If you have your guy and you can go up to get him, go up to get him. Do not wait for him. And this is a prime example. If Howie would have waited, thinking that Mekhi Lemon was going to fall to him, we would have lost out to the Steelers.
Exactly. That's why it's important when it's within reach, when it's within earshot, you go get your guy. To your point about King Sadiq, I think Darth Panda brings up a good point here. I don't think he would have made it past Carolina.
Neither do I.
And I don't think, and the Eagles would have had to trade up to 18 to get
Right.
him, and that's a steeper cost.
We talked about that because I was like, that's the only. Carolina made the most sense for Kenyon Sadiq. So I thought if they were going to make a move, it would have had to have been at 15, 16, or 17.
Exactly.
But if that would have happened, but you know, we would have, could have, should have right now.
And by the way, I'm completely satisfied with the pick for the simple fact that I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles reached for the player. I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles got value. A consensus, and consensus is always a funny word because by whose metric, right? Who is this consensus? Now, what I did here, without a shadow of a doubt, Mekhi Lemon was one of the top 3 receivers in his draft, top 5 receivers in his draft, bare minimum. And I think the Eagles got tremendous value for the player. You got a player that fits where your offense is trying to go. Mekhi Lemon is going to be a guy that you can move around a lot. You're going to see a lot of condensed formations. You're going to see Mekhi Lemon moving in motion, and all of a sudden they snap the ball. He has a running start, and he's doing whatever he's doing. He's a guy that complements Devontae Smith as a number 1 very well, because I don't think Mekhi Lemon, just because of his build, I don't think he's a number 1. At least as far as I know, at least right now, I don't see him as a number 1 today or potential number 1 today. I believe this draft was filled with a bunch of high-end 2s, low-end 1s.
If Mekhi Lemon is going to start, he's going to start in the slot. So when you say number 1, are you talking about the number 1 option, or are you talking about being one of the starters? Because I think he can start.
Oh, yes. No, I think he's going to start. You drafted him in the first round. He's going to start.
But I think it's going to be Wicks at the X, Devontae at the Y, Mekhi. They're going to slip him in there some way, somehow, at slot. So he might not start, but he's going to have a package to get him the ball.
No, they're going to get
in the game.
They're going to get the ball in his hands.
Yes,
they're going to get the ball in his hands. That's without a shadow of a doubt. I'm just basing it off of, typically is considered like a bona fide number 1 is like that X, a guy that can line up outside, mano a mano. He can run the full route tree, and I'm not doubting he can't run the full route tree. Just sometimes there is a prototype X. There is a prototype that you look for to fill that role, and Mekhi is not technically that, but his skill set, his desire to, he's the kind of player that when the ball goes up, he thinks it belongs to him. And a guy that's sneaky quick, he's shifty. When the ball gets in his hands, and you watch the film, you watch the highlights, he kind of moves like a running back.
Yeah, don't get caught up in the 4-5-1 stuff.
Nah,
he plays. If you watch film on him, he plays a lot faster than that. So I'm looking at his speed when he gets the ball in his hands, and not necessarily the straight line speed, because he's not running too many go routes. He's at the slot. He's going across the middle. He's going through zones. He's doing dig routes and comebacks. So he's not the guy that's going to take the top off. He wasn't like that at USC. He's the guy that you threw the ball in the middle, in between 3 people, and he came down with the ball and got plastered in the process.
Fearless. He's a fearless dude.
Absolutely. So he plays with a little edge, and he's the guy that you want to go through across the middle, get the ball to him in a small window, and watch him work.
And I love his ball tracking ability. There's a pass that he caught. I feel like he ran a skinny post, and the quarterback threaded the needle right over the DB, and Makai caught it right over his shoulder, snatched it in. And one of my other favorite catches, he went up in the middle of the field and got clocked in the hip and came down with it. He's just a physical dude, not afraid to play in the mud. And again, once he gets the ball in his hands, he's stronger than what he looks too.
Absolutely.
Because I've seen guys get hands on him, and he's just a physical dude. So we'll see what he does in the league, right? It's a higher threshold of talent. Guys are bigger, faster, stronger. We're going to see. We're going to see how he fits into this offense. I'm actually curious where the Eagles offense is going overall. We're doing a lot of speculation about what the offense is going to look like. But if we base it off of Sean Mannion's relationships in terms of the coaching tree he's been connected to, we're going to see a lot of motion, a lot of play action. The Eagles' first two offensive selections, and that brings us to the Eli Stowers pick, their first two offensive selections are guys that get busy in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, this might be a situation where Dallas Goedert might earn his last contract or a nice little payday, because I got a feeling we gonna throw to those tight ends going across the middle a little bit more than we have been.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now we got a true athletic guy out there that's got a lot of speed. And again, when he gets his hands on the ball, you realize we have the most outstanding wide receiver in college football, and we have the most outstanding tight end in college football. Kenyon Sadiq didn't win what was it, the Blake Award, whatever that award is for tight ends.
The John Mackey Award.
Yeah, Stowers got it. So we got two of the best at their position in college football. So we'll be all right. I agree. I think it was Panda that said that with not, Kenyon Sadiq being a 1 and Stowers being a 1A. Yeah, I think that's going to be a problem for defenses. Where my concern is, but I have to say this with hesitancy, because I don't know what Sean Mannion is going to do. How hard? What does a blocking tight end look in his offense? Because I got to look at the examples. I got to look at what is McVay doing with, out there in LA. How are they blocking Kittles? Kittles ain't the best blocker in the world either. He's more known for
he's willing. He's a big dude.
Willing, but he's not the best at it.
No.
So
the best blocking tight ends are the ones who don't catch the ball. Right. Let's call it what it is.
My biggest concern about Stowers is going to be that we get caught in the situation where he has to block, and you're talking about a converted quarterback. So he's not going to be the most physical person in the world, but can he pick up how to move your feet and turn your hips into technique? Can he pick that up? If he can pick that up, we'll be fine. You're not going to win every battle, but your job is not to win every battle on the offensive line. Your job is to hold that defensive end up for at least 0.5 to 0.7 seconds. That buys that quarterback an extra second to take a step back, to pat the ball, to read the defense and deliver the throw. That extra half second is everything. So, no, I'm not looking for him to be a stonewall at the end, but I want him to be able to at least hold his own.
Correct. Because Eli Stowers, what you're getting out of him, and as far as physical profiles here, Kenyon Sadiq, 6'3", 245. Eli Stowers, 6'4", 235.
Right.
There's not much variance there. We're talking a 10-pound difference, and don't get me wrong, 10 pounds is a difference, especially in boxing. 10 pounds is a difference. But you're getting someone who's just as athletic as Kenyon Sadiq, potentially more, just based off what we saw at the combine and so on and so forth. I think Kenyon Sadiq has faster top end speed. But
agreed.
But Eli Stowers probably just as athletic, jumping out the gym, physical after the catch, getting busy up the seam. Both of those players are dynamic. And as far as value goes, I'm not upset at the Philadelphia Eagles taking Eli Stowers where they took him at.
Right.
Especially when you saw the run on tight ends after they took him. Because it was quiet.
Very quiet. And we didn't have to do nothing to get him.
Didn't have to do anything. King Sadiq went pick 16 to the Jets. All of a sudden, 20 plus picks later, you start seeing the run on tight ends, and the Philadelphia Eagles knock that first domino down by getting Eli Stowers. And I think his ceiling is high. He's only been playing the position, granted, for about 3 or 4 years.
That's enough.
But when you think about the growth each and every season, for him to go from only playing a position for 3 or 4 years to winning the Mackey Award for best tight end in college football,
being the best in the business,
that says a lot about how much he's committed himself to transforming his body and transforming his mentality towards the position. And
Absolutely.
King Sadiq, he had more touchdowns in college. He had 8 touchdowns, but Eli Stowers, he had more yards. So, and Eli played in the SEC. Kenyon played in the Big Ten. Do with that what you will. Both players were really productive in their own right. I like the value for Stowers. I really do.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that it is not going to be another Arcega-Whiteside.
No, I don't think so either.
You got a player in this instance that we have to use correctly. So whatever Mannion's plan is, I still have to go back and watch some Green Bay games. But whatever his game plan is, we've once again we got the weapons. We've got the weapons.
Correct.
So we'll see. When I look at there's certain people, I've told you this before, whatever they say is gospel. If Greg Cosell says it is gospel, because I know he watches tape. If Barrett Brooks says it, it's gospel, because I know he watches tape. I saw on Steve Smith's podcast what he was talking about Mekhi Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if Steve Smith is giving you that thumbs up, I'm good. Because he's another one that is very, very realistic and very keep it 100 when he comes to talk about analysis of the other wide receivers at his position. He doesn't pull any punches. So when I hear somebody like Steve Smith talk about what Mekhi Lemon can do going through his career at USC and only having 4 drops, that is ridiculous. And it's somebody with the type of catch volume that he has. So he's getting all of the check marks and he's getting all of the approval from all the right people in my book. So all we have to do is figure out how to implement him in this offense, whatever it is, and let it work. Get the ball in the hand of your playmakers and let them make plays.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about Mekhi Lemon's journey to where he, from where he came from. A guy who came in his first season at USC, didn't get much rep because he was buried in that depth chart behind all that talent at receiver.
Yeah,
said he was willing to play cornerback just to get on the football field. That speaks to his mentality.
Right,
was willing to do whatever it took to be productive, do whatever it took to get on that football field and show value, right? And then 2024 comes, plays 12 games, 52 catches, 764 yards, only 3 touchdowns. But the moment he got his opportunity, he was a valuable piece for that USC offense in year 2. Then year 3 comes his junior season, 12 games played, 79 catches, jumps from 764 to over 1,100 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns.
Yeah,
breakout season. But I think he's had back-to-back seasons of production, of showing value.
Correct.
And getting better, right? You what you have in Mekhi Lemon is a proven track record of progression. What you have from Eli Stowers, a proven track record of production. Like I said, he was a former quarterback, went at New Mexico State, transferred to Vanderbilt as a tight end. His first year at Vanderbilt as a tight end, 13 games played, 49 catches, 638 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. His second year at Vanderbilt, his senior year, 12 games played, 62 receptions, 769 yards, 4 touchdowns. That consistent progression, that consistent production. And then to take it a step further, when you get to the other picks in this draft, you look at a guy like Markel Bell, big dude out of Miami on that national championship team. They lost the game, but regardless, I mean,
saw the
look,
performances.
you saw how good he was, and a lot of people feel like the Philadelphia Eagles got tremendous value for a guy like Markel Bell, a guy who doesn't have to come in and start right away, a guy who has a chance to learn behind Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, even Fred Johnson, right?
Yeah.
6'9", 36 plus inch arms. Just a freak athlete that you can continue to cultivate. Chris Cooper has his hands full because he has a lot of young talent in that offensive line room. And it's going to be up to Chris Cooper to get these guys ready for the season when it starts. And I am going to be curious to see the distance Markel Bell can travel between now and week 1. Because as much as I love Fred Johnson, if Markel Bell is showing he's better, Markel Bell has to become your backup tackle. Now we'll see. That's a bit overzealous for right now because he's a rookie. He just got here, hasn't even got fitted for pads yet.
Yeah, it's hypothetical, but still.
But the size, the athleticism, the potential. If he's showing you he's better than Fred Johnson, you get him on the football field, right? I still think the Eagles need to figure out what their long-term solution is at that rotational guard spot. But I want to approach it from this perspective, right? And I talked about this on my show. This draft class, the methodology, the approach from Howie Roseman was different. Here's what I mean. When you go back to the Philadelphia Eagles draft classes prior to this one, defensive heavy. 2025 defensive heavy. You drafted Jahir Campbell, Andrew Makuba, Ty Robinson, Matt McWilliams, Smael Mondon. Your first 5 picks in the 2025 draft class were defense. Your first 5 picks. In 2024, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt. Your first 3 picks, defense. You go back to 2023, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. Your first 2 picks, defense. And then you go back to 2022, your first pick on the board, defense, Jordan Davis. So when you put all of that into the equation, what the Philadelphia Eagles were doing, especially over those past several years, they were not just loading up on talent defensively, but they were developing that talent and trying to create a spectacular defense and win as quickly as you can while those guys are on rookie deals. Because remember, most of the money for the past handful of seasons has been on offense. You paid A.J. Brown twice. You paid Devontae Smith. You paid Jalen Hurts. Yep. You kept re-upping Dallas Goedert. You paid Landon Dickerson. You paid Cam Jurgens. You paid Lane Johnson. You paid Jordan Mailata. I think you re-upped him with him as well.
Yeah.
You were making all kinds of moves on offense. You brought in Jahan Dotson and so on and so forth. They spent a lot of money on that offensive side over the past handful of seasons. Meanwhile, they were drafting on defense, had the right coach in the building over the past couple seasons, and they were able to get the most out of those players, and they won a Super Bowl with probably having one of the most expensive payrolls on offense, but having one of the cheapest defenses. Think about that.
What's that telling you what the focus is, though?
When they won the Super Bowl, Nolan Smith, rookie deal. Jordan Davis, rookie deal. Yep. Jalen Carter, rookie deal. Jalix Hunt, rookie deal. Zach Bond, 1-year deal. Darius Slay had 1 year left on the deal. Reed Blankenship, 1 year left on the deal. Oren Burks, 1-year deal.
But look at it like this, Tone. Our defense. Do you have any worries about our defense?
At all. But what you're seeing now in this draft class is Now I'm loading up on offense.
Yep.
You want to know why?
She shifted.
Because now you're starting to spend money on that defense. Jordan Davis was the first domino to fall. He just got his money. Next up, Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. They just picked up Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith's options. So that sends the message that, hey, Nolan, in particular, because they're going to pay Carter. That's no question.
Yes.
But they're going to pay Carter, but they picked up Nakobe Dean, rookie deal. Thank you. And they paid Saquon twice. Thank you, Joseph. They spent a lot of money on that offense. So you think about what's happening now. Jordan Davis has got his money. We know Jalen Carter's going to get paid. They're not letting him go.
Yep.
He's not walking out the door. They picked up Nolan Smith's option. I think Nolan Smith, even though they picked up his option, I don't think his future is guaranteed in Philadelphia. I think Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt's future are the most open-ended when you think about the defensive talent. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, they're not going anywhere.
The way things have went last year, it wouldn't surprise me if they got rid of Nolan Smith but kept Jalen Hunt.
Right. But I still think both of their futures are open-ended.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
now now they're going to begin to offload some of those expensive contracts on offense. You're going to trade AJ Brown. Lane Johnson, year-to-year rental at this point.
I think this Lane's last year, bro.
I agree. Landon Dickerson, year-to-year rental at this point. Cam Jurgens, who knows? Who knows with his health, right?
The
Dallas
one thing
Goedert,
with a back injury like that, it doesn't take much for the disc to slip out and be right back on that sciatica again. That sciatica. So there's no telling how good Cam Jurgens is until we see him.
Agreed 100%. And then Dallas Goedert, I don't think he's going to be here in 2027. So when you think about that, all of that, now the pendulum is swinging.
Yeah.
We're trying to get cheaper on offense, find high-end talent. The first 5 picks in this draft were offense. Mekhi Lemon, Eli Stowers, Markel Bell, Cole Payton, Michael Morris. You got a wide receiver, a tight end, 2 offensive linemen, and a gadget quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling you they're telling you the business model. Just keep moving the money. Just keep shifting. Just keep shifting. As the guys on offense start moving out, you bring in young talent. You start paying those guys on defense. It's just a simple shift, and that's how you stay in the game, stay productive. But you have to draft well. That's the key to it. You have to draft well, and you supplement with the occasional splash, a la the Grenard trade.
Yeah, we got the best in the business for doing that, man. That's why kill the crash house. Kill a crash house. Like, how he got this? How he got it? Ain't no worries. So let him do his work. We are in good shape. The defense is in good shape. Although the offense is an X factor, we're missing some known variables. But the one thing that we can safely say is that the offensive line is going to look a hell of a lot better than it did last year because it can't look any worse. Can't.
I do agree with that. Jonathan Grenard spoke about Chris Cooper in his press conference. And he said, look, I used to talk to Chris a lot. He said, look, and I always hated offensive line coaches, but I like Chris. I used to always pick Chris Cooper's brain about, hey, how would you defend a guy like me, so on and so forth. Jonathan Grenard spoke highly of Chris Cooper. Now,
and by the way, Grenard looked like he a damn accountant.
He definitely came to the press conference with the collar shirt.
He
glasses.
got that nerdy look about him, man. Just like he don't look like a football player.
That's the gag, though. That's the gag. That's the gag right there. But to your point about the offensive line, they have to be better this season. They can't look no worse than they did last year. I think they know that as well. I think guys like Landon and Cam know they have to do everything possible to try to stay healthy. Only but so much of it is in your control. But with that, I'm more interested in the depth after those starters because I feel like that's where the real science has to happen for the Eagles. That's where they have a lot is hinging on these young guys figuring it out.
Yes.
A lot. Because it's not for like they've been drafting offensive linemen. But can Miles Hinton, Drew Kendall, Cameron Williams, you drafted Markel Bell and Michael Morris. Can all those guys take that next step? Drew Kendall is the only one out of the previous draft class that I saw looked like he knew what he was doing out there fully. There was moments where Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams kind of looked a little overwhelmed to me.
That's fair. I mean,
but they're rookies and they're
Yeah.
fifth, sixth, seventh round picks. I want to put it in perspective, of course. But I just know that the standard is high in Philadelphia when it comes to offensive line play.
Absolutely. And they didn't live up to it last year. So that's why I told you the other day, like the bar is low for Cooper. The bar is very, I am positive that he is experienced. I'm positive that he's going to be a good coach and he knows what the hell he's doing. And he gets the bonus because the bar is so low. All you got to do is be better than last year, which is not hard to do. Most of that comes with, you got to stay healthy. But for the most part, I have no doubt that this dude is a competent coach. No, he's not going to be on the level of Stout. But I'm positive that he is a competent coach. So he'll be good. He'll be very good.
Yeah. Along with Markel Bell, like I said, they got the gadget quarterback, Cole Payton out of North Dakota State. Michael Morris, guard out of Georgia. They got a safety, Cole Wisniewski out of Texas Tech. They got the project, the freak athlete Uwar Bernard out of Nigeria.
Yep. That dude is made out of granite.
And Keyshawn James Newby out of New Mexico. I feel like Keyshawn James Newby, for some reason, that pick is kind of giving me Patrick Johnson vibes.
Right.
A guy that special teamer, maybe practice squad, doesn't really have the greatest measurables. I feel like that was the kind of pick where they just kind of needed an extra body at that position group. But Uwar Bernard is the most fascinating pick from day 3 by far.
Absolutely. That dude is a freak. His measurements are off the chart. I saw him run the 40 time and I was like, how long is it taking this kid to slow down? Moving all of that muscle and all of that weight. But he did it. He absolutely did it. Now we just got to teach him how to get to the ball. And that's an easy process. So yeah, I think the Eagles not struck out, but I think they hit a home run with this one.
Yeah, here's the thing about Uwar Bernard. I mean, for one, you don't see people that size and move like that.
No, you do not. My comp, like who would be a comp?
I can't comp him. I can't comp him because he doesn't quite fully know the position.
He doesn't. You can't say other international players because there's just never been, I guess, honestly, and I know it's the best thing I can say is like when Herschel, not the same position, but Herschel was such a physical specimen, a physical freak with the things that he would do and all of that type of stuff.
There's a different mentality with those international athletes than anywhere else. There's a hunger, there's a desire that they have that you can't really manufacture because of the circumstances they come from. And Uwar Bernard, he spoke about how his goal is to take care of his family.
Right.
And he sees this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He was discovered by Osi Umenora.
Yeah. Yeah.
in the NFL's international players pathway
Yep. The
in Africa.
IPP. What do I always say,
And
Tone? Are you hungry or do you just want something to eat?
yeah, and this dude ran a 4.63 40-yard dash, which is 0.15 seconds faster than any D tackle at the 2026 NFL Combine, a 39-inch vertical, which is 2.5 inches higher than any DT at the 2026 Combine, and a 10-foot, 10-inch broad jump, which is 14 inches longer than any DT at the 2026 Combine. If this dude had any football
He does.
experience, if he had any football experience, he probably could have been the consensus best D tackle in this draft if he had
Easy.
football experience
Easy.
So for me, if he can figure the position out, because you said, man, you was talking offline, he just needs to learn the rules.
That's it.
Learn the rules, learn how to use your hands, and keep your balance.
Man, all he needs is, and you know he's going to get special coaching. Somebody's going to be in his corner every day. When he goes home, somebody get him a PlayStation 5 with Madden on it and let him play that on his off time. He'll pick up the rules real quick. He'll pick it up real quick, but he's going to be, the problem with him is his first, obviously his first year, he's going to be thinking way too much. Way too much.
I can see that. We're not going to see him for a couple years. We're not going to see him.
We're not going to see him. He'll be a piece on the sideline. He'll be standing over there with Big Dom, bringing cheesesteaks and cannolis. So, but we'll wait on him.
You heard, of course. I mean, when you drafted him in the 7th round, they're going to see it through.
Facts.
They're going to see it through. You heard what Clint Hurst said to him, right? He said, "Yo, listen." He said, "Hey, no sleeping. We locked in. No sleeping."
That's what's up.
He told him. He said, "You ain't getting much sleep, so get ready." And Clint Hurst is one of the best in the game.
I think Vic might pass the baton to him.
He gonna throw everything at him, and it don't hurt being in a room with guys like Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt. You got guys in that room, Jonathan Grenard. You got guys in that room who want to pay it forward.
Yes,
that's a big deal.
Finally in a good situation.
Because Grenard spoke about it in his presser. He said, "Look, we got some vets in this league that's so concerned about protecting a spot. Listen, we got to pay it forward to these young guys. When guys come in to ask you questions, make yourself available.
Yeah.
When they ask questions, answer them. He said, "Look, my mindset is
we'll be talking about this in a couple of years. Like, damn it, that damn how we did it again."
Yeah, Moro Jomo. I think Moro's Nigerian as well. The Nigerian connection.
Yep.
So, I think this draft class is a draft class that, I mean, obviously we're going to see Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers year one make some kind of impact. We're going to see that, but I think a good portion of this draft class, third round and down, they're just setting the table for the next several years. This Howie Roseman's 5-year plan is beginning to take shape. Jordan Davis has got paid. You're going to pay Jalen Carter. We're going to figure out the Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt thing down the line. Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, first team All-Pros in year 2, Super Bowl champions in year 1. Those guys aren't going anywhere. The Jahai Camber, Andrew Makuba, you don't have to worry about them right now. Your defense is one of the best in the league still, littered with young and veteran talent. Offense, right now, your vets on offense are starting to phase out like Elaine Johnson, but you still have those young vets, in my opinion, Smitty, Jalen Hurts, Saquon is a vet. You get what I'm saying? Howie Roseman is keeping this thing cost controlled and still keeping this team in the mix now and in the mix later down the line. It's a balancing act. But you have to draft well. It only works if you draft well.
Correct. That window is still open. Everybody was quick to slam it shut after we lost the Super Bowl. It was like, or not the Super Bowl, but after we lost to the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Kevin Patullo happened, and then everybody was losing their shit. But when you step back and you look at the situation as it exists, the draft grade, those prospects, out of those prospects, I'm seeing like 3, maybe 4 that'll play and actually have an opportunity to contribute. That's the most important thing, to just get on the field. It's another thing that your quarterback can be sleeping on you, and you got to get it down where they understand everybody's in the same direction, going in, facing the same direction, and we'll be fine. Howie has assembled a good crop of people ready to get them together.
Right.
Mannion Mannion was Howie's choice, right? Am I correct in that?
Outside of who? So are you saying, like, are
Was
you
that-
trying? Are you
Was
asking
that
was
a
it Knicks or
Sirianni? Was he a Sirianni guy, or did they
Every
go
dis-
through the process and that's just what they decided on?
that's always a funny thing because nothing moves without Howie Roseman's stamp. This is Howie Roseman's team. There are some teams that are coach led. There are some teams that are GM led.
Yeah,
And the Eagles are a team that's GM led. A team like the Giants right now, they've just become head coach led. Jim
right.
Harbaugh. There's some head coaches that when they come into your building, when you hire them, you know why you're hiring them.
Correct.
You're
Leave them
hiring
alone.
them,
Whatever they take, blank check.
exactly. You're hiring them to not just coach your team, you're hiring them to shift the culture in the building. That's why the Giants hired Harbaugh, because Joe Shane doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So therefore, you need a guy like Jim Harbaugh to say, hey, relax. You bring in a guy like Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. Who's the GM? Who's the GM for the Chargers? No one knows, no one cares. Right?
Nope.
No one knows, no one cares. Hey, listen, Robert Saleh, in my opinion, he's one of the better coaches in his league. Not as accomplished, but when you think about the Tennessee Titans, that's Robert Saleh's team. Who's the GM? No one knows, no one cares. Now the Chiefs, interesting dynamic because Andy Reid is obviously who he is, but Brett Veach has done a phenomenal job, and you got to give him credit for what he's done.
Yes.
And my instinct is to say that's Andy Reid's team, but I can't deny what Brett Veach has been able to provide him with.
Well, I think they're all in lockstep. Because remember, when Andy Reid was here, he was the GM too.
Correct.
So he knows what he wants to do, and let's put this out the way first. Just because you got the title, don't mean you're the guy. Because plenty of people have titles.
So to your point, because again, Veach, what he's done, I can't ignore it. The Super Bowls, I can't ignore it.
Right.
But when you compare it technically to Howie Roseman, because Veach was there when they won their first Super Bowl, right?
I believe so.
Let me see.
He's been there long enough to see plenty.
I know he's seen 2. Brett Veach. Okay, so yeah, he was the general manager when they won the Super Bowl in 2019 as well. So here's the thing. I think from a distance, people say that's Andy Reid's organization.
And that's cool.
And Andy kind of tells Brett what he's looking for. And Brett checks in with Andy.
To me, that's semantics. Doesn't matter as much as they win.
Which is why their situation is unique to me.
There you go.
So, but when you get to other organizations like, let me see here.
Call them the unicorn. We in that same boat, if you think about it. We in that same boat. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, had Nick Sirianni taking us to the Super Bowl twice.
To your point, I understand your perspective. There is a difference between a Sirianni in terms of perspective and Andy Reid. Don't get me wrong. and Nick Sirianni has done a lot in this league, but because how we did it without Nick, he's done it with 2 different head coaches, 2 different rosters. We know who's wearing the big boy pants in that organization.
Absolutely.
Without a shadow of a doubt. You get what I'm saying? I don't think Howie and Nick are tied at the hip. So, regardless though, it's a moot point. Nick has been productive in this for this Philadelphia Eagles team. Say what you want about him. And he's been a good soldier at the end of the day.
Do you think Howie has shut all of this stuff down? It's like, listen, I'm gonna make this decision. You just go along with it. I'm making this decision because
I think the Sean Mannion hire.
You ain't picking none of your friends no more.
I think the Sean Mannion hire was Harry Roseman's message that I think that was a Harry Roseman hire.
Absolutely.
Let me make that plain. That was a Harry Roseman hire for one. For two, his offense has looked relatively the same for 4 straight seasons. You have to shake it up in some kind of way. You need something fresh. And that's where Sean Mannion comes in.
Yes.
And that kind of brings me to a conversation that kind of started over the past 24 to 48 hours. Jeff Stoutland being on the New Heights podcast.
New Heights, yep.
And he jumped out the plane, no parachute. And he flat out said what he believes went wrong. He said poor execution and play calling.
What do I call it, Tone? Player execution failure. That's what it is.
He said we can't be calling bad plays against bad defenses.
Yeah. It's not. Here's the one thing why Tone, I jumped up out of my seat. He said it's not hard. It's not complicated. Thank you, Stout.
When he said that, he said that part to me was the nail.
Yes.
That was the nail.
Yes.
He said it's not complicated. It's not hard. Which begs the question, how much was he ignored versus listened to in 2025?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
For him to come out and say that with confidence, it's execution and play calling. We can't be calling bad plays against bad defenses. It's not hard. It's not difficult. For him to come out and be emboldened to say that, and for Howie to still speak highly of him the way he did when he drafted those players, Howie was like, yeah, when I drafted Markel Bob, I was just thinking, what Stout will be saying right now. I was just like, Stoutland has swing still. And for him to speak that boldly about that situation last year, and Stoutland is not, he's kind of a Vic Fangio type. He's
not gonna miss his words. He's not gonna miss his words at all.
He doesn't know how to keep it cute.
And nor does he try. He old school, man. He's old school. So he gonna tell you what it is in no uncertain terms. Make no misunderstanding. That's the way he rolls. And I'm so glad they did it. That's just another crack in the armor that fell off, and now we can see kind of what's inside. And a lot of people believe it. Some people still don't. But it's like, what does he have to gain or lose by telling this? He has nothing to gain or lose from the way he explained that.
He made it very simple too. So when he said that, I've seen a few different perspectives. I've seen one perspective. I've seen one side of the aisle feel vindicated.
Yes.
In blaming Kevin Patullo.
Exactly. Because they went that way quick.
And I saw another side of the aisle say, oh, no. You guys are only choosing to hear half of what he's saying. He said execution first.
Yes, he did.
That's on players.
Always on players first. Always. Coaches do not block, tackle, pass, none of that. Always on the players.
So to that point, I think the lazy conversation to have, or the polarizing conversation, is to make people choose a side. When in reality, it was a shit show from top to bottom. And that's the more adult, productive conversation to have. But and again, as much as I am a Jalen Hurts supporter, he has to own part of it. Kevin Patullo has to own his part, which is why he got fired.
Yep.
You don't fire the guy you're paying $50+ million. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
You're going to believe in the talent more so than the coach, especially when the money's in this, when the money's being spent. So Kevin Patullo was expendable from the beginning. But the bottom line is, even with Kevin Patullo's mishaps, there was a clear lack of execution from the trenches on out on that offense. Offensive line, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, quarterback. And I refuse to choose one side of the aisle when I know I've seen all those issues take shape throughout that entire season. That's how I'm looking at it. I take Jeff Stoutland's comments as we overcomplicated as coaches a situation.
Yeah.
And the players mishandled themselves on the football field.
Here's my only question for Stout.
Okay.
Because I posted about this because everybody's got that clip on social media.
The one where he's slashing across the middle of the field.
Well, I'm talking about Stout from the podcast. And what I will say is this: everybody's quick to jump on Patullo, but you know how I feel about that situation. If the run blocking was better, it's a totally different ball game, and I have to put that on Stout. As much as I love him, I have to put that on Stout because that's his responsibility. Everything else he said is true, but don't negate that fact. Because if it was Sirianni still calling the plays, they would want him fired. So you got to give him that heat. That is your responsibility. Now, if it comes out that they took all the power out of his hands, if that story comes out next, then we might have to take a step back and say, okay, Stout, let me get you out of this because this is not your fault. And clearly you walked away because you was tired of the bullshit.
And that's why I have no choice but to believe the power was in his hands by the way he talking.
Yeah.
He's talking like somebody that
had a lot to say.
He's talking like someone who was told, hey, we got this. Is that okay? Y'all got it. Okay. Y'all got it. Because those run concepts that we were seeing were pedestrian. It was pedestrian.
There we go.
There we go.
He kept it simple. He said some things that everybody was thinking. He said it out loud, but it doesn't absolve him. Because again, my thing is, this has nothing to do with his ability to teach.
Right.
This has everything to do with his choice as a coach to see that his guy was struggling and not take him out. That's the issue for me. Other than that, I still love Stout. I still think he's platinum. I used to think he was untouchable, but everybody can be touched. But I hope that he finds a way to stay with the organization and however that's going to manifest. But it's two between that and I always go back to the Richard Sherman podcast when he was talking about Patullo crying that it was too hard. I just think he was, it's not on one person. It's not on AJ. It's not on Jalen. It's not on Cam Jurgens. It's not on Kevin Patullo. Collectively, it's everybody. Everybody shares into the demise of the offense. But it starts in the trenches. We said that almost every week, Tone. What are the keys to win this game? Well, you got to win in the trenches.
And they never did.
They never did. As opposed to 2024, they was beasting folks.
I saw too often, even beyond the plays that are being called, I saw too often that interior just getting whooped on. They were getting whooped on.
It was bad.
Forget
was
the concepts. Forget the concepts. They couldn't even get hands on dudes.
Dude.
I saw Cam Jurgens getting beat with college like pedestrian swim moves.
Man, Cam Jurgens was oil of Olay. Because every time they came at him, he was like, Olay, come on through. It was horrible. It was horrible. The fact that he got voted to a Pro Bowl is ludicrous. That was straight diabolical. But they do what they do. But now we know. We didn't make it up. He said that. Cam Jurgens said that he had a slip disc that was wrapped around his sciatic nerve. He said that. So he absolutely right. He shouldn't have been able to walk. So again, I'm questioning my run game coordinator, offensive line coach. Why is this guy in the game? When Brett Toth comes in at New York and we have the best offensive output that we had all year. And then we go right back to the same old. That is a coaching issue. That is a you making the wrong decisions issue.
Mm.
So let's not get caught up in the I love Jeff Stoutland so much. And because he mentioned Kevin Patullo, let's keep it a buck. He's got his faults and his warts as that coach. Just like Patullo does. Patullo's going to catch the brunt of it. Jalen's going to catch the brunt of it because Jalen is QB1.
Hey, listen. What Tony Duke say in Rocky 4?
Rocky 4.
Hey, listen. What Duke say? We needed Stoutland to do one thing. Throw in the damn towel. Throw in the damn towel.
Man, listen. I don't.
Duke was screaming to Rock. Throw the damn towel. And we were screaming to Stout. Yo, throw the towel. Cam, it's done. Cam can't move.
He could barely walk. So
he can't move.
Josh, Nick is always going to be under fire, bro. Because he's the head coach and don't nobody like him. Yeah. Don't nobody around the league like him.
If Nick was more likable, I'm telling you, they wouldn't even. When people, when they let me say this properly. When the powers that be decide they don't like you, that's it. People latch on to that when the consensus decides they don't like you. That's your narrative. Now, granted, Nick has never tried to make himself likable,
right?
And I kind of respect that. Nick is Nick. Either you hate him or you love him. There's no in between.
Yeah, but we get wishy-washy with that, man.
Of course.
All the attitude, when we win in is great. When we lose in this, like everybody crash out. So.
Yeah, it's like same thing with all these other coaches, right? It's so funny.
Same exact thing.
It's so funny. The world got picks. These analysts got picks. They crown guys that have the same resumes as guys they hate.
Correct.
Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Nick Sirianni, careers differ in length, but same resume as far as accolades go. Same resume. One Super Bowl each.
Yep.
Now I don't know if Mike Tomlin or Harbaugh have Coach of the Year awards. I don't know about that.
I think Tomlin did.
Okay. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Coach of the Year awards don't mean nothing to me. I've seen guys when Coach of the Year get fired the next year.
What are the qualifications? How did Kevin Stefanski win it twice?
He won it twice. And what has he done? You get what I'm saying? You know what it is? Coach of the Year is all about what do you do? It's like to me, that's the award you get when you've done the most with the least.
Correct.
That's that award. You've done the most with the least. Forget the result of the season. You did the most when you were least expected to.
You made chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Right. Meanwhile, you didn't make the playoffs. Like, you get what I'm saying? Exactly. It's weird. It's weird.
We're at the end of the day, we're in good shape. Once again, we're back to the situation that Howie Roseman put us in. and that's a good place to be. We are in the driver's seat.
I agree 100%.
So now, once camp starts, once we get over this last hurdle, that's going to happen at January 2nd, 12:01 a.m. when AJ Brown is traded. Then we're over that hump. And now everything's laid out in front of us. It is what it is. I just saw on the internet, we already done let one tight end go. So they've already started the process. Wheels are in motion. And all we got to do is hang on, go for the ride. That's it. That's it. We got everybody we need. We got the replacement for AJ. I think Devontae is going to be fine.
I don't even like calling it a replacement personally. I don't even like, because that triggers people.
It does, but I don't care about people.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Because
I think getting on my nerves lately.
I think this whole passing game is just going to look entirely different. With this new group of talent. I think it's going to look entirely different.
Yep. And watch this. Don't be surprised if Jalen Hurts struggles, because it's a new offense. So don't be surprised if it takes him a minute. It might take a couple tugs on that lawnmower to get it started. And once he gets it going, he'll be good to go. But let's not, because we're going to have a tendency, there's going to be a big contingency of people that's going to be ready to crash out the minute something bad happens and Jalen Hurts is at center, is under center. So expect some growing pains.
I'm willing to accept some early interceptions in the season just to get that offense the way it's supposed to look.
I agree.
Because what I don't want is for him to be risk averse at the expense of developing this offense.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because when you see the kind of balls that Eli Stowers and Mekhi Lemon was catching when they were in college, middle of the field, traffic, taking hits, you gotta get those guys the ball. And you're gonna have to give them a chance to attack the ball. Now, I don't think Jalen Hurts is afraid to throw the ball in the middle. I think Jalen Hurts believes in ball security.
Right. Not turn it over. Correct.
Right. And I think by putting ball security at the forefront of his priority list, that can lead to him being risk averse and not wanting to put the ball too close to harm's way. But this year, you got to sling that rock. And I've seen Jalen Hurts throw the ball. I don't think it's for lack of ability. I think Jalen Hurts, his whole mindset was, I know how to play the long game with this thing. On top of that, our offense isn't the most creative anyway. Let me lean on my talent on the outside. Hit Goddard when I find him. Lean on our running game. Jalen Hurts is very aware. He's very self-aware. I also think Jalen Hurts sees this season as a new chapter for himself as well.
I think Jalen is just Jalen. He understands what it is. He understands he has another OC. He's been dealing with that his whole career. This is not anything new for him. He ain't gonna try to do anything different. He gonna do what got him here. Here's something I was thinking about, very interesting though. How many people Jalen's, because eventually these conversations are coming back, because the minute we a month out from the season, from the preseason starting, everybody gonna have their lists, everybody gonna have their top fives, all this and all that. So that whole argument about Jalen Hurts being elite is going to come up again.
Of course, I don't care about that right now.
But here's the question that I want to ask: the best to do it, Tom Brady is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL history. Right? We can all agree on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the most talented, but I would say the most decorated, the greatest.
Exactly. Talent has nothing to do with this. Yeah. This is all about who's the best under center. And Tom Brady was the best.
He was.
What do you think Tom Brady would do if he had the best wide receiver in history?
He's going to throw him the ball. You saw what he did when he had Randy Moss for one season.
Exactly my point, Tone. But they didn't win.
They didn't
win. He won with the journeyman, spreading the ball all over the field with Edelman and all of them that year. He had the best wide receiver ever, and he couldn't get it done. So if Tom Brady's up here, but Jalen Hurts, and I'm talking about passing ability, is down here, but this guy couldn't get it done when he had the best of the best.
18-1.
18-1. Miami
18-1.
Dolphins still popping that champagne.
18-1.
Almost. If you've seen Apocalypto, you know. Almost. But my point is that even the best to ever do it, with the best wide receiver to ever do it, couldn't get it done. And people still want to shit on what Jalen is doing. That should let you know right there, it is so incredibly hard to win a championship. That is the only time I rooted for the Patriots, because I wanted to see Randy Moss get a ring.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do it. So what is that saying about my quarterback, who's been there twice? And when he did lose, it wasn't his fault. So when the conversations get started, this is why I stay out of them. It's like, y'all can't say shit. You can't say nothing. You bring it up to say, they're going to bring up the same old points, the same old talking points. He can't do this. They're going to start regurgitating what they see on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to bring up their own. They're going to be putting in their TikToks. They're going to bring up that the NFL stats chart that they used. He only throws across the middle 30% of the time. Well, guess what? He throws only 30% of the time, but he's 78% completion rating. What's the problem?
The problem is, you said it, optics. People give more grace to guys who they like to see throw the ball than guys who maximize their opportunity and win the games, win the big games. I don't understand how we look at guys like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. We look at these guys and look, Lamar Jackson has the MVPs, all that kind of stuff, the first team all pros. Josh Allen got his first MVP, but I'm sorry. I'm telling you, if they could, they'll trade those for the Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
They would. So when I see the discourse around Jalen Hurts for a guy who grinded to get to his position, it wasn't just handed to him. He grinded to get here. He did the work. He did the work. Like, people talk about him like he gamed the system or something. You get what I'm saying? Like, you ever notice that? Like, the energy around Jalen Hurts, they speak about him like he's doing something that the league just refuses to catch on to.
Correct.
Why? How he can't? Hey, you ever seen Breaking Bad? He can't keep getting away with it. He can't keep getting away with it. That's how they treat him. They talk about him like he's found this loophole in the system.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand. And when we talk about moving the goalposts, nobody has goalposts moved more than Jalen Hurts.
And you know what they say? They say it's not about when you got drafted. It's where you go. It's where you get drafted. And it's so important to get drafted to an organization that's competent and that cares about winning.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And also, there is a certain disposition somebody has to have to get to that mountaintop and win it all, in my opinion.
And not for nothing to lose and go back.
That part. That's the one. To lose and go back. Because according to history, history is against Drake May right now.
Yes.
History is against Drake May.
Yes. You made it once. You know how hard it is to get back when you lose?
Prior to Jalen Hurts, last guy we saw do that was what? Was it Elway or was it Elway? Last quarterback to lose?
Peyton Manning.
But to lose his first and go back?
Yeah.
Peyton Manning won the first time he got there. He beat the Bears.
Didn't he lose one when he was with the Patriots? Not Patriots, but Patriots.
They lost to the Saints. They lost to the Saints. But that was his second Super Bowl appearance.
With the Colts?
Yeah, but the Colts, that was his second appearance. He won his first one. They beat the Bears, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think they beat the Bears.
I don't even remember.
And then he lost his second appearance with the Colts against the Saints. Then he made it back with Denver and won his second.
Peyton Manning played in 4.
He played in 4 of them. He lost 2, won 2.
2 and 2.
He alternated. It was a win, a loss, a win, then a loss. If I'm not mistaken. Or I think it was a win, 2 losses in a row, and then a win.
Yeah, he won. He beat the Bears. You were right.
Mm-hmm.
Then he lost to the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes to Denver. Lost to the Seahawks.
And then they beat the shit out of the Panthers.
Beat the Panthers 24-10. Yeah.
Yeah. So he won. He had both his losses are bookended by 2 wins.
Yep.
You know, but it's difficult to get there.
Absolutely,
difficult to win. And look, Peyton Manning, no one questions his ability, but people used to question Peyton's ability to get it done.
And I'm looking at his stats. His stats weren't for 4 games, 1,001 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 77.4 passing rating for the Super Bowl stats.
Are you talking about his first Super Bowl against the Bears?
No, this is collectively.
Wait, his collective Super Bowl stats?
If I'm reading this correctly,
I mean,
I said like the question is Peyton Manning Super Bowls. List all 4 of them. Key Super Bowl stats: 2 and 2, 1,000 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Those are the Super Bowl stats.
Damn.
Exactly. Then again, I look at stuff like that and I say, and what problem do you have with Jalen Hurts?
That's crazy.
Jalen Hurts gets it done. It's just he said it and nobody wanted to believe him, I guess. He said, I don't care how we win. He meant that shit.
He meant that shit.
I don't care how we win. I just want to win.
He meant that. And I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that, man. I just think it's always
the game, but you know, it's not too many people that can walk that walk.
I just think it's always funny when like their favorite gets the opportunities in the playoffs. And all season they say, "Oh, they're the team to beat."
Yeah.
And then when they get to that moment and they lose, they need this, they need that, they need this. Hold on, wait. What happened? What happened last week and all those weeks before? I thought they were the team to beat. Now he has no team. Which is it?
Prime example of all of that shit they talk for us when we face the Chiefs. Wasn't the only people that was picking the Eagles were from Philadelphia.
Yo, Patrick Mahomes' Super Bowl stats aren't much better. I mean, he's in the black when it comes to touchdowns, but listen to this. Across 5 Super Bowl appearances, Patrick Mahomes has 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, only 1,300 passing yards.
At the end of the day, what does your guy do in the big game? Period.
Mm-hmm. In the big game.
I don't care how many yards he threw for.
Yeah. 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 In the big game is those playoff games. Period.
That's all that matters. That's why Jalen Hurts walked out with the Super Bowl legends. That's why he did. This wasn't a career thing. This was specifically about your performance in the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
We got a kid that's done had 8 offensive coordinators since his freshman year in college. If anybody was ready for this, it's Jalen Hurts. If anybody's ready for this.
Yeah, man. In Super Bowls, Jalen Hurts has in Super Bowls, he's completing 73% of his passes in Super Bowls, has 525 passing yards, 142 rushing yards, 8 total touchdowns, 2 turnovers, 1 interception, and 1 fumble.
How many passing yards did he have?
525 between 2 games. So that's an average of 212 and averaging 70 plus rushing yards.
And what did Peyton Manning have in 4?
1,000. About 1,000 change. So I mean, look, but it gets all to me. I look at production. So
thank you. That's all that matters.
So Jalen Hurts, as far as production goes, 667 total yards in Super Bowls, 8 total touchdowns, 2 turnovers.
Man, QB1, just keep doing what you do, bro.
Averaging over 300 yards of total offense, averaging 4 touchdowns a game in the Super Bowl, averaging 1 turnover in the Super Bowl.
Don't concern yourself with the nonsense. Keep doing what you do, bro.
And I think this offense is going to surprise a lot of people. I think it's going to probably be one of the most interesting offenses to watch over the course of the season.
I can't wait for the TV schedule.
I can't wait.
Oh, we got to be prime time because everybody gonna want to see what happens to us without AJ Brown.
Yeah,
and if AJ Brown goes to New England,
I'm telling you, I think New England's going to be one and done. The vibes are not right over there.
No, and Drake May, y'all like people forget Drake May had his struggles too. He ain't Teflon.
And we're trying to tell people that schedule last year favored them.
Yes, it did.
And when they ran into a real team,
they ran into a buzzsaw.
Because Drake May was not good in the playoffs last year.
No, he was not.
He was not good. Anyway, we can go off on a tangent about all this stuff, man. We covered a lot.
Yes, we did.
Only thing we didn't cover is some turnover in the Eagles front office.
I saw that. The one dude took off, the other dude's down in Atlanta now.
Yeah, Ian Cunningham. I'm sorry, Bryce Johnston. He's now the senior vice president of football administration and senior personnel executive in Atlanta. So he got a promotion. And Hallaby, is it Jeff Hallaby or Fred Hallaby? Regardless, he's kind of been Howie's right man when it comes to the cap and the logistics of a lot of those contracts. Now, the good thing about Howie is he's never caught with his pants down. So
we've been through this before.
Howie knows how to hire the right people that knows how to execute his vision.
We went through the same thing. The reaction was the same when Joe Douglas left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now he's back, I think, right? I don't know if he's still on the no, I'm sorry, not Joe Douglas. I'm thinking of who was the guy that he was on our team, went to the Jets for a little while and came back. What was his name? Was that you know who I'm talking about, the executive.
I do, but I can't place the name.
Oh, it was Joe Douglas. Okay. It was Joe Douglas. So anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Nonetheless, make sure you guys smash that like button. We got to smash it there. Terrell times 10 says New England and Philly have a joint practice on the way. They sure do. They sure do.
You already know, bro.
That's good.
you know the NFL gonna make their money.
Guess what? You know, we the biggest gag if they don't send him to the Patriots. You're going back to Tennessee.
No, I want him to go up there and like, okay, you want a Drake May? Now you got him.
Mm-hmm. Again, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to both channels. Subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Coach Marcus does a phenomenal job, like I always say, man. I don't take his partnership for granted. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Go ahead, Marcus.
Shout out to my man Haran.
Yes.
Ran into Haran at Texas Roadhouse. No, we are not sponsored, but Texas Roadhouse, if you want to sponsor us, holla at your boy.
Hey.
He caught me put my food in the car, and he said, go Birds. Bald Eagles podcast all day. He said something to that effect. And I looked up and I was like, I appreciate that. And then when he came back around, I said, how did you know? Like, we shook hands. He said, man, I watch y'all every Tuesday, bro. So I appreciate that. Shout out to Haran, man.
Shout out to Haran. Hey, Haran, if you're in the chat, man, make yourself known. If you're in the chat, make yourself known, Haran. Listen, I was in the gym when Coach called me. He said, yo, Tone, you ain't going to believe this, man. listen, I'm on the treadmill. What's up, Coach? What you doing? What's up? Everything good? He said, listen, man, I'm at Texas Roadhouse, and, the rest is history. So, yeah, Haran, listen, the bottom line is, y'all, we really do appreciate you guys for locking in with us every week. We know you guys wish you could have this multiple times a week, and we definitely give you guys 2 shows a week throughout the regular season. Off season, we try to make sure we keep the energy flowing, give you guys a show weekly. We want you guys to miss us a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So again, we don't take the support for granted. I remember one time I got pulled to the side working at one of my jobs, and the guy was like, hey, listen, man, Tone, right? I said, yeah, remind you, nobody down here call me Tone in Texas. not many people call me that. So he said that, I was like, hey, what's going on? You all right? He said, hey, listen, man, I watch you and Coach every week, man. Like, I love your content, Chalk It Up Sports, Church of the Game, da-da-da. I said, listen, man, I really do appreciate the love. So, yeah, man, make sure you guys just stay locked in. Just keep supporting, keep sharing the content. Tell your friends, tell your family. We're trying to build this thing brick by brick.
Yes, sir.
And we really enjoy doing it. So, again, smash that like button. Make sure you guys hit the hype button as well. And subscribe, man. Pro Fan Talk, Chalk It Up Sports. This is how we carry it. He's Coach Marcus. I'm your guy, Tone II. And this has been the Bald Eagles podcast.
Yes, sir. Shout it up. Shout it up.
Fly Eagles fly, y'all. We out of here. Peace.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns.